Hi friends, and welcome to Cyber Sprites Week 2. Let's get started. Cyber Sprites is all about learning coding without using screens. Each week we'll be playing coding games and learning about computers. These are games that you can play over and over again at home. We'll also be reading a story about coding. So let's read. This week we're reading the next 2 chapters of Hello Ruby, Adventures in Coding by Linda Lucas. If you remember, last time Ruby had been sent on a special mission by her dad to find 5 gems. Let's see how she does it. Chapter 3, Ruby's Plan. The next thing Ruby needs is a map. Carefully, she marks a spot for the penguins next to the riverbank. Then she finds the address of the robots and draws their tiny house. On the mountain, Ruby carefully writes snow leopard and then figures out where the foxes live, in the little garden below the snow leopard. Here's Ruby's map. But the map is far from complete. Ruby doesn't have any idea where the 5th gem might be, and she has so many questions. How do I find all 5 gems? What happens if I get lost in the forest, and how do I know what to bring with me? Ruby thinks long and hard. She decides that she'll just follow the shortest route from one place to another and marks the order of her visits. And she'll take a roll of rope with her. Rope always seems like a good idea. Maybe Dad left her help after all. Ruby rolls the map into a tight roll and puts it in her backpack. Chapter 4, The Penguins. The first stop on the map is the home of the penguins. Now there's one thing Ruby knows about penguins. They're very smart, but sometimes hard to understand. Ruby approaches the penguins and politely asks, "Have you seen a gem my dad could have hidden here?" "Gem, a valuable stone that is cut and polished," the penguin named Tux says solemnly. "Bang splat tick tick hash," the penguin with the scarf chimes in. "False! My dad lives in the North Pole," concludes the chubbiest penguin. Ruby thinks about each of the answers. They almost sound like another language. She realizes she needs to be more specific when asking the penguins her questions. She tries again. "Is there something smaller than my fist, cut out of rock or mineral of any color and which is rarely seen here?" "True!" yells the chubbiest penguin, and merrily points towards the river. "Oh, so the gem is in the river. Well, why don't we build a raft to try to get the gem out of the water?" Ruby suggests. The penguins agree and quickly organize themselves into a complex mission. They gather some sticks and Ruby finds her rope. Each little penguin and Ruby does only one small task, but together they are powerful. In no time, the raft is ready, and together they push it out into the water to find the sparkling gem. So this week, we're going to learn how to play an if-then game. Did you know that playing games like Simon Says can help you learn about programming? Computers learn by patterns. If the programmer says this, then the computer does that. Choose one person to be your computer and another to be your programmer. Much like Simon Says, where one person is Simon and the rest of the people respond. First, lay your squares of construction paper on the floor. If you picked up your box from the library, you should have some squares of construction paper in it, but you can use any kind of colored paper. Start the game with your computer, your person who's signed up to be the computer, on your first square of colored paper. Then your programmer can say something like, "Computer, hop to purple square." The programmer can say things like "skip to light pink square" or "twirl to blue square." And you can play the game like that, but if you want to make it more difficult and more like a computer, the programmer can say, "If I raise my right arm, twirl to blue square." Or, "If I touch my nose, then hop to yellow square." This teaches patterns and if then sequences. Those are two fundamentals of programming. The object of this game is to follow the commands, and if you make it more difficult and use the if-then sequence, to memorize the commands. If the computer misses one, they're out and the game starts over. Or if you're playing with multiple people, you go until the last person is standing, much like Simon Says. The game can be repeated with new commands as many times as you like. Thank you guys so much for visiting. Don't forget to enter the secret code binary in Beanstack to earn badges and for a chance to win a prize. See you next time!